Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV housing with me, Meoni. Today we're looking at an item that was added in patch 6.4 that I've waited a couple of weeks to showcase, simply because it's obtained from one of the dive points from your free company dive submersibles, essentially. And the item is the weathered fitting. It makes then this item here, if we go here, it is the metal pipe wall shelf. This then is yet again another steampunk related item for your housing, and basically uses one of the weathered fittings, which is from your dive points in submersibles that were added and upgraded in patch 6.4, and it uses 4 chondrite ingots, 3 titanium rivets, and 2 star quartz. This is a basic level 90 armorcraft recipe, but if you're wondering why it's so expensive, it is because of that weathered fitting, obviously obtainable only from your dive points. The dive information will be in the pinned comment below. So let's look at this item then. So like I say, this is in addition to a lot of other items that have been added to the game for steampunk related sort of aesthetics, let's call it. And yeah, the other items that have already been included include things like the Enigma partition, which you may or may not remember, which are the cogs and things that are whirring around, and it looks like that. Then we had the industrial wall pipes added, which look like that, which are pretty cool. I think you'll agree. So if you're trying to make like a, I don't know, a goblin workshop or something, they are fantastic. And then this new item, adding the pièce de résistance then to that, is essentially a wall shelf, but it looks really cool. It's got some working lights on here, so light bulbs on each side. The light bulbs sort of like blink a little bit, like it's not necessarily working 100% efficiently. This is kind of like the Industrial Revolution of Eorzea. We've got all these little gauges. Let's have a close-up of the gauges. We've got these little switches and knobs and valves, and yeah, it's pretty awesome, isn't it, actually, as a backdrop item. But the actual functionality of this is probably the most important and interesting thing. Of course, these are actual shelves, and you get 4 of them in particular. So let's see what we can place on them. So when it comes to the sort of space that you have with these, it's typical sort of shelf fashion, unfortunately. They are quite small. And let's just turn off snap to grid and rotate that. So we can put stuff like the brass PK on the top one. So whatever you put on the top shelf obviously has the most room. We're not going to be able to put something like a candlestick on a mid shelf, but we could put something like, I don't know, a lantern perhaps. Not that it would be the most ideal thing, but yeah, there is a bit of space, but you're going to have a bit of headroom issue. I suppose it's best for things like the you know, replica swords and things. Anything that's flat or long will probably fit the best, as I bodgily place this stuff on the shelves. But of course you will have a lot more time on your hands than myself. I want it that way, actually. That looks pretty cool with the blade more exposed. There we go. Yeah, but of course there are lots of other items and probably some better ideas that you might have. But it's a functional item, which is nice, right? If it was just a set of shelves, then it wouldn't be the same. So of course you can put that on everything. And of course, because it is a wall placeable item, it does mean that yet again, this is another essentially glitchable item, right? We could hover this in midair. So let's turn on the surface placement. And we'll put this, if I could grab it, on a partition, and you could do the atypical placement glitch where you've placed it on there. You take off the counter surface placement, you click on the item, you drag it off, and then you right click or, you know, turn off, then grab the partition and drag that away. You could have floating shelves with the Steam thing. So this is really interesting, actually. With this very basic glitch that's been in the game a very long time, you'll notice that it is double-sided, although the gauges are not. So for example, if the gauges are annoying you and you don't necessarily want that side, you could technically glitch it out and just have these flat surfaces instead, with the occasional sort of steam coming off them, which looks actually quite interesting. But yeah, I thought I'd try to reverse because, well, how easy is it necessarily to see that in the furnishing design preview. It is not possible, which is the whole reason why we do these things. Obviously, one of the things that is most striking about this is it is, of course, dyeable, and it looks very, very cool. It's got that obviously metallic grain effect with the paint peeling, as you can see here. You can see that best on white as the paint is peeling off, and it's got that metal undertone underneath. It looks obviously better in darker colors, sort of rusted colors, and yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. Yeah, I do like that, for example, like the sunset orange or maybe pumpkin. It looks like it's really rusty and grimy. I hope that they add more steampunk related items to the game, because I think they certainly add to a niche that a lot of people like, right? Especially with the glamour options that they've put in, the way that the storyline has progressed over time, and the way Eorzea has changed, with the use of ceruleum and less ceruleum, and the advent of machinery and the rediscovery of machinery in some cases. It's just a really cool, aspect of culture, not just in the game, but in real life as well. One of the other things then, if you're really interested, does it have collision detection with the player? It, of course, does, which means if you were to jump on top of the shelf, you could, of course, use this as like a functional set of stairs. Of course, they are vertically placed, however, so that only the top two would be sit and jumpable on top of. I don't know. I'm scratching all of the itches necessarily so you wouldn't have to. Anyway, more videos like this and many more on the way. We have a lot to cover, not just housing. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time. Also, as you can tell by the glamour, I've been enjoying Diablo 4 quite a bit. So yes, very cool stuff. I hope you're enjoying whatever games you're playing as well in this downtime.